In 1961, IBM's CEO looked at a room full of engineers and made an impossible bet. $5 billion on a computer system that didn't exist, using technology that hadn't been invented to solve problems nobody had yet imagined. That bet created modern computing. For 80 years, IBM wasn't just in technology, they were technology. They invented the barcode, the ATM, the floppy disk, the hard drive, the relational database. Their machines put men on the moon, and their dress code defined corporate America. At their peak, "Nobody ever got fired for buying IBM" wasn't just a slogan, it was gospel. Today, IBM is worth less than companies that didn't exist 20 years ago. They gave away the PC industry, handed Microsoft an empire, missed the internet, ignored mobile, and arrived late to cloud computing. This is the story of how the company that invented the future forgot how to see it coming.
They brought about the System 360, a revolution in mainframe computing, with only a handful of competitors such as Digital Equipment Corporation, DEC, and HP. By the 1960s, IBM were almost unstoppable. Their big blue banner emblazoned across terminals everywhere. IBM were a household name, especially visible by 1969, when they were publicly seen as a major contributor underpinning the computer technology of the Apollo space program with NASA.
By the 1980s, IBM represented over 60% of the global mainframe computer market. In addition to their computer equipment, they introduced many other firsts, including this electric typewriter, floppy disk, the first practical hard drives, and many other firsts. The first that they really missed out on, though, was the personal computer. IBM was making a killing on mainframes and mini-computers that way, computers the size of a cabinet or two as opposed to a full room. They thought that computers at home would remain a hobbyist domain. IBM believed that at work, people would continue to use the larger systems as a central computing point, using remote terminals on office desks that would communicate with the mainframes rather than standalone computers. IBM System 360, named for 360 degrees, covering all computing needs, was revolutionary. First compatible computer family, small to massive, same software. Introduced 8-bit byte, still standard today. Created the concept of computer architecture. Cost $5 billion, $50 billion today. Twice Manhattan Project. The risk? IBM cannibalized their entire product line. Imagine Apple discontinuing all iPhones, iPads, and Macs to launch something completely new. That's what IBM did. The result? 1,000 orders in first month. $1 billion revenue in year one. Forced every competitor to copy or die. Standard lasted 30+ years. This wasn't iteration, it was revolution. And it cemented IBM's belief that they alone understood computing's future. That belief would destroy them. IBM didn't just dominate technology, they created corporate culture. The IBM look, white shirt, only, dark suit, only, conservative tie, only. Employee handbook specified sock color. The IBM way. Think signs in every office. Company songs. Yes, really. Lifetime employment promise. Benefits that made government work look stingy. The arrogance. Former employee quote, "We didn't study competitors. Why would God study ants?" This culture created incredible loyalty but also blindness. IBM believed they didn't follow trends, they created them. When personal computers emerged, IBM's reaction was telling. Personal computers? Toys for hobbyists. Real computing happens in air-conditioned rooms. IBM executive, 1975. Meanwhile, in a garage in Los Altos, Steve Wozniak was building the Apple I.
An IBM executive by the name of Bill Law was one of the staff at IBM who foresaw the rise of the microcomputer. In fact, he had started working on trying to sell personal computers to IBM as far back as 1973. By the time 1980 rolled along, Bill tirelessly tried to convince senior staff that in order to enter the microcomputer market, IBM would have to radically change the way they work if they were going to get a product out in time. Finally, in September of 1980, the chairman, Frank Kerry, and then CEO, John Opel, agreed to make a skunkworks division of sorts to rapidly develop a personal microcomputer. Despite IBM employing over 340,000 staff in 1980, Bill was given a team of just 12 staff to develop the personal computer, or simply PC as it became known in time. So the skunkworks began in earnest. One of the early options was to acquire Atari and base their new machine on the Atari 800 computer. The 800 shipped in late 1979 and used the MOS technology 6502 processor, an 8-bit CPU. Acquiring an outside company such as Atari was a move that was practically unheard of in IBM history. It was hardly a surprise then that IBM executives rejected the idea. Given that an acquisition was not an option, Bell took his team to task. They saw that the best way to bring a decent microcomputer to the market was to use mainly off-the-shelf components and design the machine with an open architecture. This was very much against the design philosophy of IBM, but it was clear that if they were going to get to market in time, research, design and creation of their own system using proprietary IBM hardware was simply not going to work. When IBM's executives agreed that Bill's plan was solid in time, they allowed up to 150 engineers to join the team of 12. They had just 12 months to get it shipped. The open architecture allowed the PC to connect to peripherals and expansion cards made by third parties to the machine. IBM knew that they wouldn't have enough IBM-branded peripherals ready on day one. They were also following in the footsteps of Apple. The Apple II's 8 expansion slots were a big part of the reason that the Apple II was so successful. Many of Bill's team were also Apple II owners at the time and were quick to raise this advantage with the team. Bill's team figured correctly that the industry would create many more expansion offerings that greatly increased the usefulness of the PC. Before 1981 was out, a booming cottage industry had already started making all sorts of add-on cards, such as speech synthesis cards, mouse interfaces, Z80 daughter boards, RAM cards, disk controllers, graphics cards, you name it. These add-ons were coming out thick and fast. When the PC shipped, IBM received no patents on the PC. This is important. This was due to the fact that 90% of the PC had been manufactured by third parties.
Within 18 months, Compaq reverse-engineered the IBM PC. Phoenix Technologies cloned the BIOS. Suddenly, everyone could make IBM-compatible computers. The domino effect. 1983. Compaq releases portable PC. 1984. Dell starts selling from dorm room. 1985. 100-plus PC manufacturers. 1986. Clones outselling IBM. IBM's response? Denial. Customers buy IBM for quality and service. Clones are temporary. IBM executive. They tried proprietary systems, PS2, microchannel. The market ignored them. The standard IBM created now worked against them. The numbers tell the story. 1981, IBM 100% of PC market. 1986, IBM 26% of PC market. 1990, IBM 13% of PC market. 2005, IBM exits PC business entirely, sold to Lenovo. While IBM obsessed over hardware, software was eating the world. Microsoft's rise. 1985, Windows 1.0, IBM laughed. 1990, Windows 3.0, IBM panicked. 1995, Windows 95, IBM irrelevant. The OS/2 disaster. IBM spent $2 billion on OS/2, their Windows competitor. Microsoft had intimate knowledge of IBM's plans from their partnership. Result? Total failure. The Lotus Symphony. IBM bought Lotus for $3.5 billion in 1995. Too late. Microsoft Office had won. Classic IBM, arriving late with checkbook open. Oracle eating databases. While IBM protected mainframe databases, Larry Ellison built Oracle for the emerging client-server world. IBM's response? Relational databases can't scale. They invented relational databases. The pattern emerges. New technology appears. IBM dismisses as toy or niche. Technology explodes. IBM panics, throws money. Too late.
1993. The web explodes. IBM's reaction? The internet is overhyped. Serious business happens on private networks. What IBM missed? E-commerce. Amazon founded 1994. Search. Google founded 1998. Social networks. Facebook founded 2004. Cloud computing. AWS launched 2006. The Prodigy disaster. IBM did try internet services, partnered with Sears on Prodigy, spent $1 billion. Approach? Controlled, curated, corporate. Result? AOL and others destroyed it. The e-business pivot. Late 1990s, new CEO Lou Gerstner finally gets it. Launches a massive e-business campaign. Spends $1 billion on ads showing IBM gets the internet. Too little, too late. The pioneers had claimed the territory.
2007, iPhone launches. IBM's mobile strategy? Sell BlackBerry servers to enterprises. The mistakes compound. No consumer products, no mobile OS, no app ecosystem, betting on enterprise security while consumers drove adoption. The Simon story. Painful irony, IBM created world's first smartphone in 1994. The Simon had touchscreen, apps, email. Price? $8.99. Marketing? Non-existent. Killed after 6 months. They invented the smartphone and abandoned it. 13 years later, Apple made it the most valuable product in history. 2006, Amazon launches AWS. IBM's reaction? Why would anyone rent computing power? Companies want to own their servers. The denial phase, 2006 to 2010. Cloud is just marketing hype. Security concerns will kill it. Real enterprises need real data centers. The panic phase, 2011 to 2015, buys SoftLayer for $2 billion, promises to catch AWS, reorganizes entire company around cloud. The reality, 2023, AWS 32% market share, Microsoft Azure 23%, Google Cloud 10%, IBM Cloud 2%. From inventing computing to 2% market share. The fall is complete. IBM's last grasp at relevance. Watson, the AI that won Jeopardy in 2011. The hype? Watson will revolutionize healthcare. Watson will transform business. $1 billion investment in Watson division. The reality? MD Anderson Cancer Center cancels Watson after $62 million. Watson Health sold for parts. Customers report expensive consulting disguised as AI. The problem? IBM marketed AI before having AI. Classic pattern. Amazing demo, weak product, broken promises. Meanwhile, OpenAI launched ChatGPT and changed the world. IBM still selling Watson as enterprise AI. For every business leader watching, IBM's decline teaches 5 critical lessons. 1.
Past success creates future blindness. IBM assumed computing would always mean mainframes. Your biggest strength becomes your biggest weakness when markets shift. Question everything, especially what made you successful. 2. Culture can kill. Nobody gets fired for buying IBM. Created a culture where nobody took risks. Safe choices lead to slow death. Foster rebellion, not conformity. 3. Dismissing toys is dangerous. PCs, internet, mobile, cloud, all dismissed as toys. Today's toy is tomorrow's platform. Take everything seriously, especially what seems trivial. 4. Owning the standard matters. IBM gave away PC standards, OS control, chip design. They kept the parts that didn't matter. In platform shifts, own the layer that becomes the standard. 5. Speed beats perfection. IBM spent years perfecting while others shipped. Their OS/2 was technically superior to Windows. Nobody cared. In technology, timing beats quality. The ultimate tragedy. IBM didn't fail because they stopped innovating. Their research labs still produce Nobel Prize winners. They hold more patents than any company in history. They failed because they confused invention with innovation. They created the future but let others commercialize it. Today's IBM still exists, still profitable, completely irrelevant to technology's future. Revenue flat for a decade. Stock performance lagging every major tech company. The company that created modern computing now maintains legacy systems for banks afraid to change. The lesson isn't subtle. No company is too big to fail, too smart to be disrupted, too powerful to become irrelevant. Somewhere right now, in some garage or dorm room, someone is building the thing that will make today's giants tomorrow's IBM. The only question is, will you be the disruptor or the disrupted? Because in technology, there's no third option. IBM chose wrong. They built the tech world, handed it to others, and became a cautionary tale. Don't be IBM.